So, who's heard about? Everybody knows who Tasha K is. You know who that is, right? She the one was blazing polite, bringing that on polite, breaking them stories on polite. She did good work there. She recently lost a groundbreaking lawsuit, right? Y'all heard about that? She lost a groundbreaking lawsuit to Cardi B. Ended up having to pay her about $4 million, right? Y'all know why? She said that Cardi B had herpes when she knew it wasn't true. And she refused to take the videos off of YouTube. And she just had a lot of pride and she just was like, well, take me to court. She fought it in court. She just took the videos off of YouTube. Um Now, she's going to be out of a couple $1 million, and I don't think she actually has a bankruptcy protection, right? And this has kind of been a big story, in the black YouTube sphere, a big story. And it should be. And we love the sister Tasha K, and we love Cardi B. We love all our sisters, right? But all of this, I just couldn't stop thinking about this situation once I heard the news. Because it's such a simple way to fix this, just like there's a simple way to fix all of the problems that's plaguing our people. It's so simple. It's just the laws of God, right? You report information that you know is untrue, right? She said in the courthouse that she knew that it wasn't true. She had got the report from somebody, but she knew it wasn't true. And then when Cardi come and you on the internet defaming somebody saying that they have a sexually transmitted disease, and they come with the medical records that just prove that. I mean, come on. What do you even gain from spreading a rumor like that? The sister Tasha K has done plenty of credible things and, built her platform. I want to say she's got something like 1 million subscribers on YouTube, which is a hell of a accomplishment for anybody to have. But she's in this unfortunate place. And this is what happened when we sin. Right? This is what happens when we sin. So let's get Exodus 23:1.
Exodus 23:1. Thou shalt not raise a false report.
It say that the Bible say thou shalt not raise a false report. And this is the job. This is what the Israelites, Hebrew Israelites, brothers you see on the corners and everywhere you see us at, in every crevice of this society, on the internet, in the streets, etc. We're trying to teach people to keep these laws and how monumental and how important and how groundbreaking it's going to be when we keep them and we follow them and we don't break the laws of God. Right? Read it again from the top.
Thou shalt not raise a false report.
Thou shalt not raise a false report. You don't go around spreading information that's not true. Right? That's a very early commandment here in the Bible. And if she would have the sister Tasha K would have just followed this, she would not be out of nearly $4 million right now. Man. Quite a hefty price to pay for something that you would think is just the least of the commandments, right? Oh, I just spread a little false report, said somebody had a little something that they didn't have. You would think maybe that wouldn't be that big of a deal. No, it's going to cost the sister about $4 million. I think $1.25 million and then plus legal fees. So it runs up to about $3.8 million that she's owed. I don't believe she has any bankruptcy protection either, which usually people get in the state of Florida, right? You think OJ's paid the Goldman family all that money? No, because he moved to Florida and filed for bankruptcy, right? I think that there's some type of clause in there. I think it was some type of situation in which the sister's not going to be able to get out of this that way, right? So that's what we have to understand. And it's these small things that we can do to implement in our lives that will invoke such major changes, which are these laws, statutes, and commandments. Right? Go ahead.
It says, put not thy hand with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness.
It says, put not thy hand with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness. It is a wicked thing to go on the internet and say somebody has contracted an STD that they don't have. That's a wicked thing according to God, right? And we have to follow the instructions, the commandments, the rules, the regulations of God, man. That's what we have to do. And it would fix problems in our community. I mean, you would not be out of $4 million if you just listen to the laws of God, right? It's just crazy. Let me get that was Exodus 23. Get Exodus 20 about the bearing of false witness.
Yeah.
Right?
Exodus chapter, my bad.
Go ahead.
Exodus chapter 20, verse okay. Exodus 20:16. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor.
You shall not bear false witness against our neighbor, blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians. We are each other's neighbors. We are the Israelites. We are God's chosen people. You got Tasha K, a Judite sister. She's bore false witness against her sister from the tribe of Simeon, so-called Dominican Cardi B. You shall not do that, right? We got to learn to stop doing this to each other, right? Hassan, give for me do unto others. What a amazing scripture this is doing. I always remember Stone Cold back in the day. He used to have a do unto others t-shirt, right? It's a very monumental scripture because, like we was going into last night at class, Yahushua, who the world calls Jesus Christ, what he's teaching in his ministry is really a reiteration of a lot of the laws that appear in what they classify as the Old Testament. He's just reiterating these things. He's saying them sometimes in a different way. He's rephrasing them, but it's the same lesson that we learn, right? So go ahead.
Matthew 7:12. Therefore, all things whatsoever you would that men should do to you,
whatever you would want a person to do to you, however you would like a person to treat you, right? Read on.
It says, do ye even so to them.
That's what you should do to people, right? Treat people how you want to be treated, right? That's the same thing as, well, don't bear false witness. Don't do all the technical rules and regulations that we see in the Old Testament that tells people what to do and how to deal with people. Really, it's summed up in treat people how you'd like to be treated. That simple, right? If you don't like being stole from, don't steal. If you don't like being lied on, don't lie. What's so crazy is when people are so adamant, they come so adamantly against these commandments, and that's just going into what you're talking about, Hassad, before I got on. Like, you have a problem with this, right? So you like to lie on people and you like to be lied on them, right? You like to steal from people, you like to be stole from them. If you have a problem with God's laws, if these are things that you don't feel like, should be kept, should be extolled, should be taught, should be followed, should be the standard that people are held to, right? If you don't feel like that, then you must like when niggas steal from you. You must not mind it. You must be a thief too. That's the only thing I could begin to conclude. Is you're a thief, right? That you're an adulterer, that you're a false witness, that you're a liar, that you're a slanderer, right? And this is what the truth about a lot of people. A lot of people are these things. They're thieves, they're adulterers, they're liars, they're slanderers, they're false witnesses. So they don't have a problem. And the problem they have is with the rules that tell them they can't do it because they want to go do it to people, right? But then they get mad when it happens. And you can't get mad about that. You're dishing it out. You got to take it, right? Go ahead. There's more on that.
No, that's
read it again.
Okay. Well, no, that's sorry. There was more. Matthew 7:12. Therefore, all things whatsoever you would that men should do to you, do ye even so to them.
Our sister Tasha K would not appreciate if somebody burst on the YouTube scene and ran with a story like that about her that they knew was untrue, right? I would imagine. I don't think anybody, right? I know a person who was similar, a rumor was like that was circulated about last year, and nobody liked that, right? And you can go get the medical records to prove it, but these people, like, hopefully, give me that John 8:44, matter of fact. It's so unfortunate that there is such a large portion of our people that literally do not care do not give a damn about the truth. And when I say the truth, I mean, I'm not talking about our ideology necessarily. I'm talking about like the facts versus the fiction, the real versus the fake. There is such a large portion of our people that disregard truth, fact, reality, right? It's funny. I was watching the Star Report. Big up to the brother Star. I was watching the Star Report, and he says, in all his years of being in entertainment and media, at the end of the day, black people like drama, even if it's not true. Our people will prefer drama to truth. The truth is not all that exciting sometimes, right? For example, I know brothers who maybe have ran out to the store. Maybe they got caught up. Maybe it was a traffic jam. I don't know something. Maybe they were gone a little bit longer than would be anticipated for a store run, right? When you come in the house, that woman isn't talking about, oh, honey, was there a traffic jam? Right? Not every woman, but we all know scenarios like that. Either we've been in them or we know people that have been in them. We saw our parents go through them. There had to be something else going on, right? There was a girl at the store. They know you went to see that girl. You stopped by the store on the way home from the girl, right? Our people love the drama aspect more. There's more. But the story is better if you said you were going to the store and you really were doing. The story is better that way. It's more entertaining, right? It's better to believe because it's more exciting. Brother from Seattle, y'all about to talk about the water. It's more exciting, but no, it was just a traffic. I sat in traffic. They had it. Things slowed up. It was a huge accident. Whatever. That's nothing fun to that story at all, right? So our people will prefer the drama, and that is the problem with our people. Our preference to madness all the time. Our preference to it over truth, over reality, over facts, right? Go ahead.
John 8:44. Ye are of your father, the devil.
You say what?
Ye are of your father, the devil.
A lot of us are following the devil. A lot of us are following the devil. And when I say the devil, let's make this very clear about what we mean when we say the devil, right? What we mean when we say the devil is we're not talking about the spiritual entity, right? Satan, which is a negative, spiritual force talked about in scripture. Satan, the adversary, the spiritual adversary. We're talking about his primary agents of the earth, which are so-called white people, right? That's what we're talking about. And we're talking about what we've learned from them, right? What we've learned from being in such close proximity to them and being subjugated to their wiles and their tactics for 500 years. That half a millennia being exposed to them in the way that we have been, some of us have begun to pick up and follow after their ways and become just like them in their devilish ways. Keep going.
It says, ye are of your father, the devil, and the lust of your father you will do.
And our people are going to do the lusts of the devil. Our people are going to follow after the ways in which they want us to follow. Right? Read on.
He was a murderer from the beginning.
He was what?
A murderer from the beginning.
So that's the number one objective of the devil, to murder God's chosen people, to murder the Israelites, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Right? But in this day and time, especially, there are so many ways to murder a person, right? You don't have to just take a gun and kill somebody, strangle somebody, stab somebody to death. Now, through the defamation of somebody's character, can they be virtually, practically murdered before the world? We see people get deplatformed, people get canceled, right? That's the lust of the devil, to attack God's chosen people, to constantly wage a war against the chosen people of God in any way that they can, any way that they can try to stop a couple dollars from coming to you or stop your credibility, stop a positive message from being spread. They're going to stop at nothing to make that happen a lot of times. And a lot of our people have been infected by that same germ, and they go and they carry out that same will, whether they know it or not, whether they know that a puppet master is controlling them or not. Right? Go ahead.
It says, he was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth.
That's right.
Because there is no truth in him.
There's no truth in the devil, right? We're talking about a group of people that are not from the areas that they live in now, right? They've migrated, they've conquered, they've raped, robbed, murdered, and lied their way onto thrones and into power in the earth. And they got power in the earth, and they got on boats, and they went and spread false propaganda all throughout the earth and enslaved the world with it, right? That's what white people have done. We understand that. So that's their agenda. Now we got those of our people that are now carrying out their agenda. They didn't need to have a meeting with them either. They didn't need to pull them into a secret room and say, "This is our agenda. You need to do it." No. They don't. Their agenda is so strong. Give me that tongue walking throughout the earth. Your thought.
What do you think the difference is like between her, like TMZ or Whitney Williams or Star? They all do the same thing.
The difference is there's a way to report on these things and cover your backside, right? When she's receiving information from an inside source, and I don't know every single detail, but she's saying she's getting this information from an inside source within Cardi's camp, and the way that she's reporting it as absolute fact is a problem, right? So the TMZs of the world, the Star especially, you ain't never gonna catch Star slipping. I'll tell you that now. Star, you know, a lot of people don't know Star. He did a interview series on Vlad TV some years ago. That there's no sign or trace of that in the world. It's the only videos Vlad's ever posted that you can't find anywhere because his legal is so good that, you know, he sent notice over to Vlad and Vlad had to get rid of those. But Vlad owns all of them interviews that he does outright, copywritten, everything. So how was he able to do it? I don't know. All I know is that nigga's good. Star is good. So certain people, you know, they got their legal side is up to par to where you're not really going to be able to slam them like that. So you got to really cover your bases. So again, I didn't see the video, so I don't know exactly what was said. All I know is she said that girl have herpes, and she spoke to it like it was absolute fact. And that girl showed up to court with medical records that disagree with what she said. And from what I understand, Tasha K admits that she knew it wasn't true. Right? You can't do something like that, right? You might can do something like that small time to people who don't have the type of money and power in the machine, but you know, Cardi B is one of the biggest celebrities in the world right now. With a serious machine behind her. Exactly, which we're gonna get in a second, right? You can't do things like that. Now the problem is our people got to stop doing from the only reason why we think it's okay, the only reason Tasha K thinks it's okay or thought it was okay to do something like that is because our people at the base level habitually do that to each other. We habitually lie, make stuff up, exaggerate the hell out of truth, right? And then go and spread it around. We do this all the time. It's what our people do. And we become so accustomed to doing that you know, now sis got a major platform and then she goes ahead and she does it. Right? And she pays a $4 million price for it. Jesus Christ. Right? Go ahead.
Psalm 73 and 9.
Mm-hmm.
They set their mouth against the heavens, and their tongue walketh throughout the earth.
So they blaspheme God, the so-called white man, the devil that the Bible speaks of. They blaspheme God, and their tongue walks throughout the earth, meaning the doctrine, their propaganda, their ideology, their philosophy is all over the world, indoctrinating people through different ways, through television, through education, etc., through fear, etc. So they don't need to pull you into a secret room and have a secret meeting with you to instruct you to fulfill their agenda. They've already indoctrinated you with their agenda, again, through education, through television, through fear, etc., and through 500 years of all of this propaganda. to where your brain is being developed and molded and shaped and programmed into it just from you living your daily life. See what I'm saying? So let's go back. Asad, Leviticus. Let's get Leviticus 19 and 16.
Leviticus 19 and 16. Thou shalt not go up and down as a talebearer among thy people.
You shall not go up and down as a talebearer among your people. That's what we should not do. And some of these YouTube channels, some of these podcasts, some of these clubhouse rooms are just about tale bearing, right? We posted, and this is where, you know, our beloved, our dearly beloved and departed sister Whitney Houston. Big up to the sister Whitney Houston. You know, she knew about the Israelites, right? You know, our sister, she, in her addiction, had a big legendary rant, right? And she said something in that rant. If I smoked all that crack, where are the receipts? Right? And from that, a term emerged amongst the black culture called receipts, right? We need to see the damn receipts. The receipts just means the proof, the evidence, etc. So I like when people come and they bring the receipts, right? That's what we all should like, the receipts, the evidence, not the tale bearing, not the gossiping. Who's got the proof? The proof is in the pudding. That's how the Bible teaches us to operate. When we start bringing accusations against people, we start saying things about people, we ought to have proof of these things. If we're going to say people are guilty of something, or they have something, or they did something, we got to have the proof. That's the standard that we have to follow, not this tale-bearing, slanderous standard that our people have become so accustomed to, and now people are getting hit with $4 million lawsuits about. See what I'm saying? She had to learn a hard lesson for a lot of so-called black and Hispanic people, that we shouldn't do these things, right? But we just should not do this to Cardi B or somebody of that stature that has a legal team that's going to be able to slam you. No, we should do this to more than them. We shouldn't do this to any of our brothers and sisters. We shouldn't do this to any other black, Hispanic, and Native Indian people who are the Israelites. Right? Keep reading. Salaki Rakat. You're taking it's exactly, that's exactly what it is, depending on what the lie is, because you're taking something from somebody that you literally created something to be taken from them. You see what I'm saying? It's really crazy when you really get into how much. Give me Asad, give me a default. There's a it's in Psalms or Proverbs about a false witness, the wounds of a false witness.
Yeah. I think it says slander. It might say a slanderer.
Something like that. Because this is not a light thing, right? Because let's just be real. I know me personally, if somebody comes to me and they tell me that anybody has a situation like that going on, man or woman, but especially woman, it's gonna just change my entire outlook on that person. That's just, I don't know. That's just how my mind. When you tell me, what? That person, what? Now, this may not be a person that you're dealing with on that level where you're going to contract something from them, but still, it still is alarming. Like, what? That is nuts. See, and
I think you're talking about this right here.
Uh-huh.
Sirach 27:21. As for a wound, it may be bound up, and after reviling, there may be reconcilement. But he that betrayeth secrets is without hope. Nah, that's not it. But that's all right. I know what you're talking about.
Duval, go ahead.
Proverbs 26:22. The words of a talebearer are as wounds.
That's it.
They go down into the innermost parts of the belly.
That's it right there. Right, y'all. Can y'all hear that on the chat? Was the ball read? If not, I have a side.
Barely hear it. I'll read it.
Now, third charge said Cardi say she wanted to commit suicide after what Tasha done. No, she didn't. Okay, I ain't gonna lie to you. That's how you cap up a lawsuit, a civil suit. I wanted to commit suicide. That's fake. Okay, she didn't want to kill herself. All right, I'm gonna be real with you. That's not what she wanted to do. What she wanted to do was make an example. And because you got to remember, our sister Cardi's ascension to the top is not, it's a regular girl from the hood until a couple years ago. You see what I'm saying? And then she just rose quick and fast and became rich very quick and very fast. Right? So she's down to earth on the who seen. There was a clip that came out last month. She going into a club in Miami. What weekend was it? It was Art Basel. It was Art Basel. And this club in Miami want to switch up. They ain't want to let the black women in the damn club. Right? And she's walking in with Offset, and she stops and talks to the sisters that were standing outside the club, not people that she knows, just regular sisters trying to get in the club. And they told her, like, hey, they don't want the black girls in the club. So she started getting at the bouncer, like, you better let them in. You see what I'm saying? Real down to earth. And again, not too far removed from the humility. And she even has been expressive about the fact that, life was simpler and she kind of misses living in the project, right? So with all that being understood, she has not yet, as we can see, if you just study what, how she's reacted to things, she has not yet adjusted to just understanding that you're up here. So all the people down here, there's going to be a lot of people down here that are just going to have a lot to say about you. They're going to shoot arrows at this. Just life of celebrity. Remember back when we was kids, they had tabloids and you would always see somebody that was always posting a crazy story in the Sun or, whatever about people. She hasn't quite fully adjusted to that. So she wanted to make an example out of somebody who was lying on her, right? I know it affected her and it bothered her. I know that she didn't want to commit suicide, though. Let's be serious. But go ahead.
I had a precept real quick.
Go ahead. Hit that Proverbs, though.
Okay. This is Proverbs chapter 26.
They couldn't hear him. Go ahead.
It says, verse 26 and 22.
Mm-hmm.
The words of a talebearer are as wounds.
The words of a talebearer are as wounds. Right? When somebody is saying this type of negative, when they're spreading lies about you, it feels the same as them cutting you, them punching, them physically hurting you. That's how it feels, because it's just not true. Sometimes you just hear me say something so outrageous. You're like, that's just not even kind of true. What are you talking about? Right? Go ahead.
It says, the wounds of a talebearer are as wounds, and they go down into the innermost parts of the belly.
Right? They sting deep. Right? Precept, go ahead.
Matthew 24, 25 and 40. And the king shall answer and say unto them, verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto me, of the least of these my brethren, verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of my brethren, ye have done it unto me. And
that's something that's a good precept. That gets overlooked sometimes. We got to understand that we are, as black people, Hispanic people, Native Indian people, the Israelites that the Bible speaks of. We are the brethren, we are the sistren of who the world calls Christ, real name Yahushua, so-called black men. And then understanding that as we do to the least of our people, it's like we're doing it to him. And this is the type of, and I'm just so happy for his teachings, right? I'm so happy for the teachings of Yahushua and how all this stuff is already written, right? It was already in the Torah, but he's bringing it back out to you. He's breaking it down to us in a way that's so simple. Okay, so the average person out there will tell you they love Jesus. I love Jesus. Okay, would you do this to Jesus? No, I wouldn't do it to Jesus, but you did it to me. Yeah, I did it to you. Well, Jesus said, if you do it to me, it's like you did it to him. Now you understand that you can't do that to me because it's like you did it to Jesus, and you wouldn't want to do Christ like that, would you? And so you got to break that down to people in that way to make them understand the error in their ways and make them change and correct their misguided behavior, right? Shazam. Come, what is it? I'm gonna have a side read. Call it. Proverbs 11:12 to 14 aside.
Proverbs 11 and 12. He that is void of wisdom despiseth his neighbor.
He that is void of wisdom despiseth his neighbor. Read.
But a man of understanding holds his peace.
Go ahead.
A talebearer
A what?
A talebearer
A talebearer does what?
revealeth secrets.
Reveal the secrets. And these talebearers sometimes reveal secrets out of context. They reveal secrets that are just totally fake, not real. Now it looks like you're hiding some secret that's not even true, that you don't even have knowledge of. How frustrating of a situation is that? Because you don't want that to start getting around, because you don't even want people to think that. It's so ludicrous. Right? Go ahead.
It says, a talebearer revealeth secrets, but he that is of a faithful spirit concealeth the matter.
He that is of a faithful spirit concealeth the matter, man. All right? Everybody don't have to know everything that you know. You may come across certain information that you just need to go ahead and file that away and not speak of it. That's something our people need to get a grip on. Right? Go ahead.
Let's sit on that.
Kind of, let me get back to Leviticus 19.
Leviticus 19 and 16. Thou shalt not go up and down as a talebearer among thy people.
And some YouTube channels, some podcasts, some clubhouse rooms are all about tail bearing.
Yeah.
Right? That's all they're about. It's tail, but sometimes we deal with facts though.
Shade room.
The shade room. It's crazy. I watch some damn thing. Who knows about this brother, Mob James? Y'all heard of him?
Yeah.
No, you know about him, right? You know about my good old Mob James. Mob James, he run with Death Row. So what happened is, we in the clubhouse a couple weeks back. Big shout out, brother CEO Reek, Whack 108. Got paperwork on Mob James, right? Dude comes on there, brother named FG. Y'all can look these interviews up. It's all over the YouTube. FG dude, Paru dude, Compton dude, whatever. He breaks the paperwork. He said, this dude told on me. I did 10 years in prison, in federal prison, because of this dude, right? He informed, he was a confidential informant for the FBI. He shows paperwork, he shows a photograph that has him in there where he's identified with the paperwork, with the evidence, etc. Right? So yesterday, I follow this closely. Sergeant Yatai put me on a lot of this stuff, dealing with the whole, there's a whole corner of YouTube that's like the death row rabbit hole, that all they focus on is all the stories surrounding death row, Suge Knight, Tupac, and all the different people that were around, right? That's something that fascinates Sergeant Yatai. So he put me on to a lot of this, right? A lot of this information that we learned about the Mob Jameses of the world, the Reggie Wright Sr., Reggie Wright Jr., etc. And so yesterday, they came out with a video talking about Mob James breaks his silence, right? Because he kind of been quiet. And what happens is they got some dude who's breaking down his paperwork and trying to explain how he's not the snitch in the paperwork. And they try to discredit the brother who brought the paperwork out, who did the time in jail. And they said, see, his paperwork is fake, because his version of the paperwork, they wrote in his name and they wrote in his case number, and everybody knows that ain't how it worked. I'm sitting there going, well, I got paperwork I got right in jail, and my name and my case number was written in with a pen. What are you talking about? Right? Now, later, like, if I go and get your paperwork from the state later, if I go pull that, it may not, it's going to be printed in. But that initial copy, when the proceedings are going down, it's getting written in. That's what he has. He has what he got originally, right? And the brother's trying to speak on why. Well, see, look, when he lied, because he said it went like this, and that, and it didn't really go like that. He said, so I pull up the document, right, that the dude is talking about, and I'm reading it. Where did the dude lie at? Everything he said had happened is exactly what it says right here in the paperwork. What are you talking about? The only thing that deferred was he said he got a page, and then he made a phone call to the dude, and that was on the wire. The paperwork says that it was a call to a cell phone. He didn't mention the page. That is what we call a very minute detail, right? That's a little bit of oversight that is meaningless. The fact is, regardless if he called a cell phone or somebody paged and he returned a call, either way, he's on a wire talking about a conspiracy to distribute crack cocaine. Right? That's the reality of the situation. So it's just hilarious how just so we have somebody come and bring the receipts, bring the facts on somebody. Then we have somebody trying to refute facts with tailbearing, right? With what Donald Trump called, he coined the term what? Alternative facts. People are now coming with alternative facts to try to remix the facts. We need the laws of God as Black and Hispanic people so desperately. We need them so because we have to stop doing this. We have to deal with the reality of the situation. This man did 10 years in prison for a dope deal. He knows who was in the dope deal. Him and the other guy that was in the dope deal, they both did 10 years in prison. The other guy in the dope deal, he didn't go to jail. What does that make him? The confidential informant. Let's be real here. I mean, when you start analyzing the situation, I mean, there's y'all remember Life? You remember Life when he was talking about his cousin Melvin was a lawyer, he was working on the appeal, then his wife ended up getting with him. And Eddie Murphy told Martin, eeny, meeny, miny, Melvin. That's eeny, meeny, miny, Mob James. He's the rat. Let's be serious here, right? Go ahead, though. More on Leviticus.
Thou shalt not go up and down as a talebearer among thy people.
Mm-hmm.
Neither
Thou shalt not just going around. Read that in the New Living for me.
Okay. This is Leviticus 19 and 16. The NLT, it says, "Do not spread."
And like Patrick said, it's funny because everybody, if you follow the story, you know what happened. So, but here's the cool thing about it, Patrick. In actuality, this conspiracy, and him setting up FG and Drew was before his brother was killed. So that's not an adequate actual excuse for that, even though that still is not an adequate excuse. But the guy he tried to basically say these guys killed my brother, so I'm turning on the hood, basically, or whatever. But it's actually before his brother was murdered. But go ahead.
Leviticus 19 and 16. Do not spread slanderous gossip among your people.
Do not spread slanderous gossip among your people. It is a very evil, slanderous gossip to say that a sister is running around carrying an STD and she's not. Don't do that, Tosh. Don't do that, anybody. There's no reason to do that. Tasha K is a sister that we know has credible inside sources, right or wrong, Assad?
Right.
We saw her talk about everything that happened in the Polite case before we actually saw it manifest. Oh, this new charge is coming. It's going to be this. It's going to be that. I got a source from inside the jail. And then we saw everything she said was right and on point. Go back, check the videos. I reacted to all this stuff. I went and pulled up the Dade County record. I did all that. We pulled up the court proceedings, Zoom courts, all of it. She knew what she was talking about. She don't got to go out here lying and spreading slanderous gossip. She's got a hold of enough. There is enough BS going along. There is enough drama going around to accurately report on. You ain't got to make stuff up. Let's be serious. Right? Go ahead.
Do not spread slanderous gossip among your people.
Uh-huh.
And do not stand idly by when your neighbor's life is threatened.
And don't just sit there and let what happened to George Floyd happen. That's another law that we have during the Bible. Cobb. Envy could be a part of it because you got when you got somebody that take a look at any star. Somebody don't like them. And then, the bigger they become, the larger their fan club becomes big, but the hate club also becomes pretty big, right? And that's the crazy part about it. So it could have been envy, jealousy. It could be she just felt like she could get a couple dollars. Go ahead. Reputation, right? Because as shameful as some of the stuff that Cardi B does is, right, in sexualizing herself, selling sex the way she does, But it's just a fact that's part of what she does. A certain image, quote unquote adult type image. So now when you say that she's got that, that's affecting that image. That's literally possibly inhibiting her ability to, like, you remember when Charlie Sheen was doing all that stuff? He was the hottest topic in the world. Winning, all that, right? You know, as soon as it came out he had AIDS, the nigga disappeared. He was going, it came out in court, he had AIDS. All of us, we ain't seen the nigga since. The only person to make it through having AIDS is Magic Johnson. We all know that. Other than him, there is nobody. When that news breaks on anybody, it's over. Forget about it, right? People don't want to hear from these people anymore.
What?
Other than that, for some reason, just Magic, we just began to love him so much more, right? Than we did just Showtime Magic. We loved AIDS Magic better than Showtime. We love it, and he's still alive, right? We believe he doesn't have AIDS. We believe he contracted it and then was later cured. Ain't no way you convince me Magic is got it right now. There ain't no way. Right? Bro, they're like when AIDS first came out. I like the first nigga with AIDS. Feel me? As it was a little white boy. Remember the little white boy? He got it from he got it from a damn some type of blood transfusion. The little white boy. I remember in school they made me watch a documentary on him. Poor little sad white when he just dropped dead. All praise him.
Yeah.
Right? But Magic, he was like one of the first niggas with AIDS. And damn it, he ain't went nowhere. Ain't lose no weight. I done been to his TGI Fridays. I done been in his Starbucks. Amazing. Right? I remember our dad take me we moved to California. We in a place called Ladera Heights. You know what Ladera Heights is? It's a nice upper scale area of Inglewood. Before this is a pre-gentrified Inglewood, so it's a upper scale black area in Inglewood, California. And man, I go up in the damn Starbucks, and the whole wall is Magic. It's just a portrait of Magic Johnson. I said, wait, what this Magic Johnson Starbucks? The nigga got a Starbucks. Then I look across the damn parking lot. The nigga got a TGI Fridays too. I said, oh yeah, this. You know what? He's doing well for himself, man. He got the AIDS. He started doing good for himself. Other than Magic, can't nobody survive an AIDS scandal, an AIDS being positive for that. Once that come out, people are backing up. Because you know how people think. You hear somebody got, you feel like you gonna catch it breathing next to him.
That was
he got what? I think I might have hit off his cup before. You see what I'm saying? Let's be real. Only man. So that is a heinous lie. Even though she didn't go all the way to AIDS, but still that's something that sticks with you for life. And then they tell you, they try to desensitize herpes to people because they try to tell you 1 in 5 adults have herpes. That's not true, right? That's not true. I'll explain. There's 2 different types of herpes, HSV1 and HSV2. HSV2 is the sexually transmitted disease, right? The other one is like when people have cold sores and stuff. They're unrelated. Well, they're related, is in they're the same type of virus, but they're not the same type of thing, right? One requires Blistex, the other requires, I don't even know what the medication for that is, right? You said what?
Hey,
you see what I'm saying? So it's there are 2 different things. So when they say 1 in 5 adults have 1 in 5 adults has HSV, a type of herpes, technically, but it's not a sexually transmitted disease. 1 in 5 people do not have what they call genital herpes. That's not true, right? But when you say that, you're kind of implanting to people to just be reckless. So 1 in 5 people got it anyway, right? Right? It's just something, at that point, it's like a cold. It's just something you get. No, it's not just something you get. And then even a cold sore, I don't know if we honestly can say 1 in 5 people got it. Because I remember I Googled a cold sore before. I've seen people say they had a cold sore before. And I Googled the damn cold, and I said, I don't know if they had a cold sore, because that looks crazy. I'm like, yo, that looks kind of nuts to me. Like, that's what that is. I don't know if I've actually seen somebody who had that going on. I don't think so. So, you know, things like that, man. Those are heinous lies to say about a person, you know. And we shouldn't take that lightly. We shouldn't take lying on our people lightly at all. Right? Go ahead.
No, no. Listen, you know, I thought I'm pretty sure what I'm thinking is the same thing you're thinking. Hey, gang, don't hurt me. It's me. What is?
Oh, yeah, the Dave Chappelle skit. Haven't seen you in a while, Dave.
Right.
Go ahead.
No, I had a preset. Where's that? Okay.
Look at Patrick. I had a girl tell me herpes wasn't serious. I'm like, good, but no, yeah, bye. Oh, bye. Are you kidding me? It's for life. It's for life. We're gonna talk about something being for life. Ain't serious? No, it's for life. Anything that's for life is serious. Right? Go ahead.
Sirach 26:5. There be three things that my heart feareth, and the fourth I was sore afraid: the slander of a city, the gathering together of an unruly multitude, and a false accusation.
See
All
that? Hold
these.
on. Well, Salaki, we're gonna run that back. Somebody look at this person put Jonathan Wiggins. STDs aren't real. Brother, if you believe that, man. Original Yabashimia Sharpkatha with the water. If you believe that, brother, I fear for your life. I'll be honest with you.
He might
I
have
fear for the man's life. That brother's tripping, man. All right. That brother's really tripping. Go ahead, bring that scripture back.
Yeah. It says, what is the? You know what that reminds me of, Alizar? It's like, remember when we were a kid and you tried to throw the blanket over you so that the monster couldn't see you? Because if you can't see the monster can't see you.
Yeah.
If I just don't believe in AIDS, I ain't got it, right?
Then he started losing all that weight. Till he started losing all that weight. Right?
Sirach 26:5. There be three things that my heart feareth, and for the fourth I was sore afraid.
Uh-huh.
The slander.
So it's three things. So Jesus, son of Sirach, not to be confused with Jesus Christ. He said there's four things that I am definitely afraid of, right? Let's read about them. Benji, go ahead.
The slander of a city.
The slander, a whole city, a group of people that are slandering you, right? This lie that's been propagated now, people believe it and they're utilizing it towards you. The slander of a city, read on.
The gathering together of an unruly multitude.
A lynch mob. Go ahead.
And a false accusation.
And just a false accusation in general. A false accusation is likened unto lynch mobs. Right? Go ahead.
All these are worse than death.
It's worse than death for somebody to be lying on you. Right? It's worse than death. So here's a precept that Cardi can use for the suicide for the suicide cry that she had. Well, the Bible says it's worse than death to be lied on like that. So I wanted to die, regardless. And she just wept. She just cried out, damn it, just kill me now. Because what I'm not is an adulteress. Right? Go ahead.
I sit on that.
It's a planter. It's so crazy. Where we at?
Huh?
Let's go back to Leviticus 19.
Leviticus 19:16. Thou shalt not go up and down as a talebearer among thy people.
Read on.
Neither shalt thou stand against the blood of thy neighbor.
Switch to the NLT. We're going to read down to 18.
Okay, verse 18. Thou shalt not avenge nor
No,
bear
17. Yeah, start 17.
Okay, 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him. Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people.
Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people. And that's what we have to understand. We got to stop holding grudges. Go ahead.
It says, "But thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am
Mhm.
Yahweh."
So, Tasha, you wouldn't want Cardi to tell the world you had herpes, so you shouldn't have done it. And that's what the Bible is teaching us. And this is why we so desperately, as Black and Hispanic people, need the Bible and the laws, the instructions that God gave us as his chosen people, because it's going to teach us how to stop this madness. It's going to teach us how to fix our problems. And some of these rules, they seem so plain and so simple, but literally implementing these things would invoke so much change in our worlds, in our lives, in our communities.